Hey everyone, welcome to this channel. Today, we are going to learn about basic electronics components that every beginner must know. Let's get started. First, we have a switch. The switch is an electrical component that can be turned on or off. We use it to control circuits. There are different types of switches, such as a single pole, single throw, SPDT, a single pole, double throw, DPDT. A switch can have a normally open contact or a normally closed contact. In a normally open contact, the contacts are open when the switch is in the off position and close when the switch is turned on. On the other hand, in a normally closed contact, the contacts are closed when the switch is in the off position and open when the switch is turned on. Switches can be used to turn on and off lights, motors, etc. Second, we have a relay. A relay is like a switch, but instead of being controlled manually, it is controlled electrically. That is, if we apply a small current to its input, it closes its output contacts. Relays can be used to control high-power devices with a low-power signal. This means that if we want to control a motor with a low-power signal, we can use a relay. A relay has a coil and an armature. When we supply current to the coil, it becomes energized and pulls the armature towards it, closing the contacts. As shown, when the relay is not energized, the contacts are open. Here are some common relays. There are electromechanical relays and solid-state relays. Electromechanical relays have moving parts while solid-state relays do not. Third, we have a resistor. A resistor is a passive electrical component that resists the flow of current, converts electrical energy into heat. Energy in a circuit. It limits the amount of current. There are different types of resistors, such as a variable resistor, a potentiometer, a fixed resistor, and so on. Resistors can be colored or they can have their values printed on them. The value of a resistor is represented by a color code. For example, the resistor's color code is from left to right, 2, 4, 7, 5. So, 2,475 ohms. Each band represents a digit. If the first band is red, then the number is 2. If the second band is black, then the number is 4. And the third band is gold, which represents the multiplier. Gold means 0.1. Therefore, the total resistance is 24 * 10 to the 4th power ohms. The fourth band, which is the tolerance, represents how accurate the resistor is. Silver means ±5%. Fourth, we have a diode. Is a component that allows current to pass through it in only one direction. It is like a one-way street. Diode is represented by a line with a triangle on one side. The longer side represents the positive side called the anode, and the shorter side is the negative side called the cathode. Diodes can be used to convert AC to DC or to protect circuits from reverse voltage. Diode. A diode has a forward bias and a reverse bias. In a forward bias, the positive side of the battery is connected to the anode of the diode, and the negative side of the battery is connected to the cathode of the diode. When a battery is connected to a diode in a forward bias condition, current flows easily through the diode. But if the battery is connected in reverse bias, no current flows through the diode. Fifth, we have a capacitor. Capacitor is a component that stores electrical energy in a dielectric. It consists of two conductive plates separated by an insulator. The plates are connected to the positive and negative sides of a battery. When a battery is connected to a capacitor, current flows until the capacitor is fully charged. Once the capacitor is fully charged, no more current flows. Capacitor has a capacitance measured in farads. Common values of capacitors are 100 picofarads, 1 nanofarad, 100 nanofarads, 1 microfarad, 10 microfarads, 100 microfarads, 1 millifarad. Capacitor is represented by two lines with a gap between them. The distance between the lines represents the capacitance. The farther apart the lines are, the higher the capacitance. Capacitors can be used to filter signals or to store energy. Sixth, we have a transformer. Transformer is a passive component that transfers electrical energy from one circuit to another through electromagnetic induction. It changes the voltage from a primary winding to a secondary winding. The ratio of turns on the primary winding to the turns on the secondary winding determines the voltage transformation. Transformers can step up the voltage or step down the voltage. They are used to isolate circuits or to match impedance. A transformer has a primary winding and a secondary winding. The primary winding is connected to the input voltage and the secondary winding is connected to the load. A transformer is represented by a circle with two coils inside. The input voltage is applied to the primary winding and the output voltage is taken from the secondary winding. 7. We have a transistor. Transistor is a semiconductor device used to amplify or switch electronic devices. It has three terminals: the collector, the base, and the emitter. Transistors can be NPN or PNP. In an NPN transistor, the emitter is connected to the negative input voltage and the collector, T, is connected to the positive input voltage. In a PNP transistor, the emitter is connected to the positive input voltage and the collector is connected to the negative input voltage. A transistor is represented by a line with an arrow pointing towards it. The arrow indicates the direction of current flow. A transistor can be used as a switch or as an amplifier. And finally, we have a SCR. An SCR is a semiconductor component that conducts current in only one direction. However, it is controlled by a gate signal. An SCR is like a transistor, but it is a three-terminal device. That is, it has a main terminal, called the anode, a gate terminal, and a cathode. SCR is represented by a line with a diagonal line intersecting it. The intersection point is the gate. An SCR can be turned on by applying a positive pulse to the gate. Once the SCR is turned on, it will conduct current until the main terminal voltage is removed. These were some of the most basic electronic components. To learn more about electronics, visit our website. You can also watch these videos to learn more about basic electronics. Click any of these cards to watch those videos. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.